for acquisitions and dispositions and all of the other little things, the many things that go in between getting a deal closed. It's a million moving parts. So that's just for one deal. So if you got several deals in your pipeline, you're going crazy. Trying to keep a good tab on the seller. Hey, you okay? Keep that constant relationship with
And
that
keep
seller
your receipts
going.
too.
You know
Make
what
sure
I mean?
you keep your receipts for
Absolutely,
your
man.
accountant. Make sure.
Making sure paperwork is going where it's supposed to go. It just got to be too much. So I was like, you know what? We'll make more money because we'll do more deals if we just let people do what they do, assign people what they do. You know, there's always in every business, there's a visionary and there is an integrator, you know?
I like that.
In some spaces, I'm the visionary, but in others, I'm the integrator. You know, and everybody just has to know where they fit. You know, a championship team, how many times did Jordan go out there and score 40, 50 points and they lost? It wasn't until, you know, Pippen started showing up. You know what I'm saying? Until all those guys, till they started playing like a championship team, that they started getting those rings. So, you know, that's a big mindset shift.
And that's heavy.
It's definitely a big part of it. Just to add a little bit on there is delegating and making sure that you are getting the best out of each person. Like you're not forcing them into something they're uncomfortable with necessarily, but making sure that you take advantage of whatever their attributes are and bringing the best out of them when you put them in a position. You know,
100%, man. I mean, we dropped some heavy knowledge on the show today, man. I mean, this is like groundbreaking. I'm excited for everybody's future here on this panel on what y'all bringing and what the future has to bring for you. And, you know, I'm excited. So everybody here is already
getting it, man.
More
Rain,
deals.
what is it? Rain, sleet, or snow, man. We out there getting it.
UPS, baby.
So we're going to close it out, man. It's been another great show right here in Richard Today, where we show you how to invest in real estate so you can be richer today than you were yesterday. And we're going to keep hitting it. So we're going to go down, just drop your handle. I know they can reach you by email. How about email?
Yeah, you can do email. There you go. We're doing email. It's dennis.ampm@gmail.
All right.
There you go.
Big Chris Spleen, your ultimate investor. You can hit me at Big Chris Spleen _@gmail.
I'm sorry. You can get me at Mitch Mogul. You can get me on Instagram at MITCHMOGUL, or you can hit my email at info@mmeproperty.com.
Hey, that's the show. I'm Antonio Smith, the Cellionaire, here live, Richard Today, where we show you how to invest in your real estate game so you're richer today than you were yesterday. We see you on the next episode, and make sure you follow me on IG and also click on the link. Get involved in our coaching program. We're going to show you every step of the way what you need to do to start building wealth in the real estate game. It's not necessarily the money. It's not necessarily whatever you're thinking it is. It's more about the mindset and the team that you build. So click on the link, watch the live webinar. We'll see you on the other side. And until
Believe in
then,
yourself.
throw it up so we can see you on the other side. Hey. Let's go.
Let's get it. What's up?
What's going on, folks? It's Antonio Smith, the Cellionaire, live with Richard Today, where we show you how to invest and get richer today than you were yesterday. And we live. We got one of my special guests, my great friends, Mr. Chris Spleen, with us. We're gonna talk about what he's been learning so far in the real estate game, where he's come, how far he's come with the game. And also, he's a big part of our coaching community as well. He's going to break down a lot of the things that students are asking. And I'm sure maybe a lot of you guys have the same type of questions. So welcome to the show, man.
Hey, man.
What's up? What's
Hey,
going on?
Can't complain. I can't complain about a thing, man. Love it, man. Thanks for having me on. And,
Absolutely, man.
Just seeing you here, man, doing well and everything. It's just been great, man. It's just been
I
great.
appreciate that, man. So let's go to the elephant in the room, man. You've been working out, man. You know, what's your nickname in the game?
You know, they call me the Big Christopher Spleen, the ultimate investor.
The ultimate investor.
It's just because I believe in the investing that we're doing, but also investing in yourself. You know, I put a lot of time into my studying, into wellness. I'm in the gym, you know, physique competitor for the last 5 or 6 years.
Wow.
You know, so just want to be well-rounded, you know?
Yeah.
I think you need a little bit of all of it.
Absolutely, man. So let's dig right in, man, because I know we've been rocking together for the last couple of years in the real estate game.
Yeah.
And your transition was becoming from an employee to a real estate investor, and you do this full time for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, what was your biggest transition? Like, because I know for me, it was tough becoming from an employee mindset to an entrepreneurial mindset, because that's what you got to have in business.
Right.
And luckily, I read this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad years ago, luckily in my early 20s. And it just helped me change the way that I was thinking about stuff. Instead of changing my hours for dollars, I was changing my hours for my skill set.
Right.
So it's a bit different. So what was your biggest challenge? How did that work out for you?
I think you're right, man. You know, I read Rich Dad Poor Dad too, like every other investor. I just didn't want to be the poor dad. You know what I mean? I wanted to be
There's a lot going on.
the rich dad. So I work. You know, a lot of people don't know my background's in occupational therapy. So
Yeah.
I actually worked as a therapist for about 19 years.
Wow.
And I was doing that in conjunction with doing real estate at the same time. So, you know, breaking that whole worker mindset for me was really tough, you know, because I came from a field where I was making six figures, you know, and I was like, okay, I'm making six figures, and you know, had the hustle to get out here and flip a couple of houses and do wholesale too. You know, I was very easily up into the, you know, $250,000 range with no problem. But it just came to a point where it was my time.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, I was making the money, but I didn't have the time.
Yeah.
And a lot of things one of the biggest things that you learn in occupational therapy is quality of life.
Yeah.
You know, we teach our patients that to be as independent as possible. You know, a lot of them may have like hip fractures, things like that, and we rehab them and get them back up. But you never realize how important it is to be able to do the small things, like take yourself to the bathroom.
Wow.
And,
So you really,
you know, do those type of things. So
yeah.
my transition was like, okay, now I have money. You know, at first I was poor. You know, we grew up poor. We didn't have a lot of stuff. And, you know, and I always said, like you, we've had this conversation a lot of times, you know, when I grow up, man, when I finally get in a position, I want to make sure that money is not an issue.
Yeah.
So
Think about it.
once we did that, then it just became my time. I was like,
Wow,
man,
my
I'm like a
time.
prisoner right now. You know, I got some of the material things I want, but I don't have my time. So
Wow. Wow.
it's
I
crazy.
think, man, that could be like a title of the book, My Time, just by itself, because I think so many entrepreneurs struggle with that, because they especially nowadays where we're in the flexing world where everybody flex on everything, you know, and you think everybody's doing well. And I come from a stage where I was like an entrepreneur in my early 20s, well, even younger than that. Like I started my first thing when I was like 12, 13.
Right.
And, you know, you don't never know when that time is going to hit. But the only thing that's guaranteed, if you don't stop, you will win. Like I was the one that started 10 businesses before I found that one business where I made $1 million in.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And it took time. And then it was like, that's my time. And then that business was successful. Like I did it for like 15 years. Then the market changed.
Right.
Then I had to create a new time. I need to find a new opportunity. And it's like, the thing about it is, when you say it's my time,
Yes.
that word can like touch your heart, because you don't know when that time is, but when it happens, it's like you start hearing that music with Scarface, you know, like da 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 da. That's what it happens. Like da da da.
It's like, no, it's
da.
my time. And you know it's your
Yeah.
time, you know. You know, I prayed about it too. My last flip is what got me out here
Oh man.
full time, because I was working on this flip, and you know, a lot of people who get into the flipping game, they don't realize that once you know, you think you're gonna buy this property and you're gonna put $20,000 into it. Okay, start ripping some walls out. You know what I'm saying? And that $20,000 quickly turned it quickly to turn into 50 grand. You know,
I'm telling you, real estate is the only business I know of. You can just go on a tear so fast.
Yeah.
Like one false move, you done spent like 10,000. And then another false one, another 10,000, 20,000, 30. It just rips up. It just runs the number so quick.
Bro, I remember us having this conversation. I was like, bro, I have never spent this much money this fast in my life. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about thousands of dollars, you know, a week. So, you know, that was just a mind shift. But it got to the point where I just couldn't do both, you know, because I had a full caseload that I was carrying. I was meeting my contractors at my job site. Then I would leave and go to my 9 to 5, and then I would come back. And I tell you, one day, I met everybody at the job site, got everybody started, and I went to work. And when I came back, they ripped out a whole wall that didn't need to be ripped out.
Oh man.
Make a long story short, that one day cost me $5,000.
Wow.
And I was like, you know what? Can't do it. Can't do it. I need to be here. You need to be here so you can mind your business.
Wow.
Is what I told myself.
Yeah.
And then just with my network, and as long as I had been out, you know, I just had to trust in myself, and I had to trust God was gonna lead me in the right direction.
Wow.
And I went out, you know, on my own, and I started doing it. I never looked back, man.
That's awesome, man. Because I know in the first stages, you were like, when you were coming on board,
Yeah.
we did a lot of deals together.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
It's probably, you know, the first was you got the money, and then the second part we started doing the deals.
Yeah.
What deal that we did was your biggest breakthrough? Because we kind of went through the phases of where I think in anything you do, there's something about having faith
Yeah.
when you don't know what else to do, but you do all you can do.
Yes.
That really gives a breakthrough in
Yeah.
business. Like which one of those deals was that faith like breakthrough and that you said I can do this?
Man, it's funny because you know, we did our first, I think I did my first maybe 20 deals together. The first time I ever saw, we did over $150,000 in JV deals in maybe like 6 or 7 months.
It was just
So
running
we were
it.
running them, man. I was finding them. You had the buyers, and we was just blam, 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 blam.
Yeah,
So I was very confident coming into the wholesaling game, which was my background. But I think that flip, man, you know, and I had done flips before, but this one right here, it really taught me a lot. I can remember telling some of the students, man, that, you know, there were times that I went to bed at night, I didn't know how I was going to get through the next day.
Wow.
But my mind just worked on it, and God just provided the steps and the resources that I needed. And it just got to the point where my confidence just grew. I knew I was going to get through it. You know, it came to a point where I started seeing the finished product, you know, and I was just like, you know, nothing is going to stop me from getting this done. And shoot, that's when I got my big boy t-shirt, you know, from finishing that. That was my first rehab.
Yeah.
My first full rehab. I mean, gutted. And I had not planned on doing that. You know, one of the guys who really helped me out so much on that project was just like, man, you don't really get into flips like this until like your 4th or 5th. And you're like, this is your first full rehab. So you're going to get like the equivalent of a master's degree. And I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just got to go big or stay average.
Yeah, man.
And you weren't trying to stay average no more. You're
Not
trying
at
to
all.
break
Not
through.
at all. Not at all.
Wow, man. So, man, I just want to thank you for popping on, sharing your knowledge, your expertise, and just being there whenever I need you, whenever the team needs you, and just sharing your expertise, your knowledge, your skill set.
Yeah.
Because I see the wins, brother. I see the loss. I see it all. And just to get to this point, man, is a win. 100%. So thank you for being on the show, man. Give a shout out where people can connect with you.
I appreciate that, man. You can find me on Instagram at BIG Chris Spleen, SPLEEN _. And that's the best place to keep up with me. We have a course, Tony and I have a course, the Sellionaire course. I'm one of the lead coaches there. So just plug in with us, man. You know, one thing I want to say is that a lot of people out here are really teaching real estate, but they're not doing it. You know, we're hands-on, we on the ground, we in the field. We talk to a lot of people willing to help anybody. But our program is A1. And if you join our team, you know, you won't regret it. So just glad to be on, man. Glad to be a part of the team.
Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that.
Last thing, make sure that you're helping, man. You know, stay involved. Yeah. You know, it's a lot of times that I'll be out and people always ask me, how can I get involved? How can I get involved? I call my guys all the time. Hey, do you need me to do something? You know, a lot of the guys are traveling, they're overseas. I go look at properties or whatever. Do whatever you can to get involved. If you don't have money, use sweat equity. You know, it goes so far. Don't just ask somebody, you know, hey, what can I do? And because a lot of times that takes a lot of energy for somebody to figure out what can you do.
Yeah.
Just jump in there and start doing something, using your expertise, show that you're hungry, and get off the bench and get in the game. All right.
Hey,
Get
you
Chris
know
Play
it,
your
man.
ultimate investor, man.
Let's go, man. You heard it today on Richard Today. I'm Antonio Smith, the Cellionaire. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, connect, and we'll see you on the next one. Let's go. Hey. What's going on, folks? Antonio Smith, the Cellionaire here on Richard Today, where we show you how to make money in real estate. Were you richer today than you were yesterday? And we got a special guest in the house. Dennis Colson is one of our students inside of the program, has a breakthrough testimonial. And also, sometimes when you get inside of deals, it just stretches your mindset and your ability. And I saw this gentleman when he was just kind of starting out, a bit less confident. I've saw him over the last couple of months just go berserk, confidence and all that, man. So welcome to the show, Dennis. What's up,
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm great,
How you doing
great,
today,
man.
man?
Great.
Yeah.
So I know you got a deal under your belt. Like, tell me about what's your journey been like so far.
Oh, well, I started in it at real estate a while back, and I was trying to get involved.
I'm brand new. Matter of fact, I just found my first renter last Thursday after sweating a whole bunch of bullets on a house that I closed on the end of April. And I guess I'll say I joined this group because, Tony has helped me get started and go on the way. And my ambition is to start a real estate business, not just buy houses. And my goal is to be able to retire early. So I love the term mailbox money. I've never heard that before. I think I heard you say that a couple times, Tony. So yeah, that's my goal. I want a whole bunch of mailbox money. I want the mailbox full. Cause this work thing is not, I don't see myself going another 25 years or so, which is when I officially would retire. So yeah, nice to meet everyone. I guess I'll just be listening because all I got is newbie stuff to contribute. Newbie mistakes.
I mean, I'm so proud of you because you came into the game and you talked about what you were going to get, came in, saw it, and you conquered it. You got your new project, you finished it, and you got a renter. So that's huge. So congratulations on that. New
Thanks.
on the way.
Yes, I even had to go find the mailbox. UPS. Yes.
Life, getting the passive income you reserve, and getting the lifestyle that you deserve, click on the link below. Get free access to my live masterclass. I'm going to show you step by step exactly what you need to do to start earning money in the real estate game. I'll see you on the inside. Click on the link. Let's go. Hey. Ooh, come on. Hey, what's up, gang? I'm excited tonight. Let's do that again. Yeah. Okay. Woo! We on the stage tonight. We on fire tonight. Oh my goodness. Wow. Man, I'm excited tonight. Welcome to another live stream. We're going live right here in your living room, in your car, in the gym, all across the country. We're live on YouTube as well. Make sure you're locked in. If you're just tuning in, if you haven't booked a call with us, go to the link in the comment section. Book a call with one of our coaches so that we can help you start making some money in the real estate game. No matter if you're a wholesaler, you want to be a new landlord, you want to be a mogul. Come on, click on the link. Make sure you book a call with us. We just opened up 2 more spots. It's live. We live and direct, y'all. So I'm excited tonight. And we got special guests in the house. So if you're in the house, let me know you're in the house. Just go to the comments area and type in the house. We see Jerry over there all the way from the west side. What's up, Jerry from Texas in the house? What up? What's up, Anthony? We see Anthony. We call him the Dave Justice of the real estate game. Dave Justice in the house over there, y'all. We got Jeffrey in the house. What up, Jeffrey? Kirkland, all the way from the New York State Line is going to be in the house with us. And you know what, guys? We have special guests in the house with us. We've been talking about We've been talking about all types of stuff, but specifically, we've been talking about home inspections. We got a rock star in the house that saved us $75,000 on a home inspection. Wow! Just imagine wanting to buy a house and it comes out to be $75,000, and you get an inspector to go in there and look at it, and you're like, I don't think that's the deal I want to get into. That's why it's so important. No matter if you're a flipper, a real estate investor, new or seasoned, you want to have the house inspected. So we got our killer home inspector in the house, all the way from the ATL. RC is going to be in the show with us tonight. She's going berserk. We see her in the house. She's in the green room. She's getting ready. She's like rubbing her hands like the bird, man. I see her. Yeah, Birdman status. I'm excited. I was just in Vegas a couple of weeks ago for an event celebrating one of my friends' birthday. And I walked through, first of all, I stayed at a nice spot. It's the Fountain Blue. They got one in Miami, which is like legendary. They have a new one in Vegas. And I love Vegas. It's like all the lights and, it's some of the best marketers in the world. You can go to Vegas and see them. That's their stage, Vegas, right? You see the lights, you see the scenes. Like, you got to be prepared when you go to Vegas, even if you have money, because you're going to get hit somewhere. You're going to get hit. Like, you check in, you think it wasn't going to be resort fees, you're going to get hit with all types of fees. It's like Miami, okay? You want to go to a party, you better be ready to pay a real party price, okay? But I was walking through the casinos, and I saw all types of people, all ages, betting on a winning 777. They were rolling it. They were like, woo, let's do it. This is going to be it. This is going to be it right here. Is it going to be it? You're looking, they're like, they got their little drink, they're ready, and, they're bringing the free drinks, and those drinks that they bring are weak. They're weak. You better get ready to spend some money on a good drink. But they just keep them coming. So, but I see them in their eyes. They're like, boom, 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 6, 6, 2. Oh, man, let me try it again. Okay, is it gonna be a 7, 7, 0? Boom. And you're like, dang, what am I gonna win? It's like everybody want to win, and I'm like, man, And you hear the stories. People will pay their last to just win one time. And the thing I like about business is it didn't take 1,000 times for me to win and hit it big. Even though I started 10 businesses before I made my first knock out the ballpark, in business, you got to follow the numbers. That's your best way of finding your winning lottery ticket. Same thing about real estate. You follow the numbers. It's going to tell you if you're going to win or lose. Now, there's no guarantees in this game of investing, business, and that's why most people fail at it. They don't have a coach. They don't have the training, and they're not willing to take a chance. And most people are not willing to bet everything on winning. That's why most people fail. And I saw everybody like this winning. Everybody wanted to win. And there's nothing wrong with that. I may spend like a couple of dollars and I'll be done with those slot machines, because my winning ticket is finding the best strategy to find a deal. That's my lottery ticket, finding a deal. So no matter what it is, you should have a cash flow that's working for you 24 hours a day. Like I was talking to a member earlier. Now, 24 hours a day, I get notifications on my phone that, boom, I got a new lead coming in. You hear that? That was a new lead coming in. Like I get that 24 hours a day. When I'm asleep, when I wake up, it's happening. And if you don't have at least 2 to 3 lead generation opportunities, cash flow and bringing you opportunities every day, your best bet might be Vegas. But the good thing about business is all I need is one of them to hit. Boom, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100,000. 1 million. Come on. I don't need that many to win. I just need a couple to win. And my dreams can come true. Everything you want can come true. And you can manifest those things by taking the action and overcoming that fear and jumping all in. But you got to ask yourself, are you really ready to do something different, to get pushed over the edge? And I know it's going to be scary. Everybody that has won big have been a little afraid in the beginning about starting. But after they've gotten in, they're like, wow, why didn't I do this earlier? Why didn't I take the leap earlier? And sometimes you need somebody to help push you over the edge. Like, get in the water, jump in. Let's win a bit. It's going to be scary. Hey, you might lose a bit. You know, it may happen. But the thing is, you need to jump in. You have to jump in to be able to win big, because the universe only rewards the bold. The bold, the dangerous, and the fierce are going to win. Okay? So you got to constantly becoming bolder, more dangerous. Like when you step in the room, is everybody on there? Does everybody get excited? Is everybody like on the edge? Like, wow, okay, something's about to happen. This guy's in the room. It's a shark. It's a land shark right here. He's in the room. Or is everybody just in the comfort zone? You walking like, oh, yeah, he's not going to do anything. He was big back 30 years ago. But are you still big now and getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger? You know, I don't want nobody to be like, man, you should have seen Antonio 30 years ago when he was like on top of the world. He's doing this, that. Now I want you to be like right now. He was big then and he's big right now. And as you get older, you got to be open, have an open mind. I was talking to a member today to learn something new, because as I was coming up, I mean, we didn't have like this internet. We didn't have YouTube. We didn't have all these different things, all these different news places pulling on us every day. Like, look at me, sensationalizing the simplest things and just driving us crazy. It's driving us crazy, man. The sensationalizing of all these different things is just driving people crazy. And that's the world we live in. And you're going to have to either learn how to be a part of it or get out the game. And I like to stay in the game. I want to stay in the game. So now when I talk to people, like, they see me now, they're like, wow, you're going berserk right now. You did it back then. Now you're doing it all over again. You know what I mean? Like, I want my piece of the pie. Type in the comments, my piece of the pie, man. My piece of the pie. Can I get my piece of the pie? A new 2024 piece, a 2025 piece. Come on, RC. RC in the game. She said she want her piece of the pie, man. She want her piece of the pie. Come on. Type it in, your piece of the pie. Come on. Piece of the pie. Get your piece of the pie. And you got to tell yourself, I want my piece of the pie to get your piece of the pie, because nobody's giving out free pieces. Now, you may hear like, you know, let me go on YouTube and learn here or there. And you'll learn a little here and there. Look, but how long is it going to take you? You know what I mean? To put all the pieces together and all that to get your piece of the pie. Like, getting your piece of the pie is like, it's like a prophecy to me. I got to have my piece of the pie, and I got to keep getting my piece of the pie. It's not over just because I got a little piece. I want a little bit more. Can you get you a little bit more? Can somebody type in the comments, a little bit more? Come on. Can I get a little bit more? A little bit more. Not M-O-R-E. Mo. A little bit more. I want a little bit more. I love it. That's right. A little bit more. I love it. I just want a little piece. A little piece, a little bit more. A little bit more. And sometimes when you see your chance to get it, you got to take it by that at that moment. You can't stop right then. You got to just keep going in like, this is my time. Because, you know, most of the ideas you come up with, most of them, reality is not going to work. So why are you holding on to that idea? Let's put it to work. It may work. Let's put it to work and see what happens. Because while that's happening, you'll come up with something else. that may be the one that you needed. So be willing to be open, learn something new, lock in to get your piece of the pie, and then get a little bit more. Ooh, we cooking. We cooking. And I need one of those like frying the bacon like sounds, like you know how that bacon sound on an early Saturday morning. It's cooking. We cooking. I love it. I love it. We cooking. I'm cooking. So tonight's show, we got a special guest. We were talking about home inspections and how we went on this home inspection and how, you know, that can be one of your biggest challenges, doing the right home inspection. And we got an expert on here who's going to be breaking that down for us. She is a killer in the game. She got that killer instinct. You know, you put the little football stuff under your eye and you're like looking like, whoa, I see you. She's like that shark looking at that next deal, ready to bite. You know, we got a killer in the house tonight, y'all. Got a killer in the house. First, let's take it to the west side because we got a member. I love his story. And I think it can resonate with so many others right now. He's over there getting back in the game, working like crazy, ready to quit his 9 to 5, but he's taking action. He's delivering. He's a new just come in. We're gonna welcome him in. Make sure you take yourself off mute when I'm about to pull you in. I'm about to pull him in the game here. We're gonna get to you. Other one. I see you, RC. I see you, Anthony. I see you in the house. We call Anthony the Dave Justice of real estate. Now he's gonna be coming up here in a moment, and we see Big Tim Harvey from Atlanta in the house. In the house. I see you in the house. I see Dominique Hine. Let's go. I see Lori in the house. I see Big Larry Hall. I see Anthony Kern over there. Hey, y'all going berserk up in here tonight. Let's go in berserk. I love it. Love it. Love it. Let's bring up the one and only Mr. Jerry all the way from Texas.
Hey,
What's going on, sir?
all right now.
How you
Doing
doing?
great. Doing real good.
And are we cooking tonight?
Yes, sir.
All right. I want to make sure we cooking. So, man, I love your story. Just introduce yourself, name where you're from, and just like what's your motivation right now for getting back in the game. I remember we talked about you had a big hit deal. So where we at right now? Go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody.
My name is Jerry Lee Kuntz. I'm kind of seasoned, but I'm not so seasoned. I got out of the game a little while ago. I ran a landscape business. I'm a retired fireman. I've been working since I was 13 years old. I had a paper route, and I kind of found out where my niche was. And I've always had a thing where my mom brought me up, where I found my niche is being a people's person. So when I got my paper route started, that's kind of where I got my insight from. So from there, I raised my family up in my 20s, and I had a rough road starting out, but it kind of smoothed out there for a while once I got myself together. So getting back to the real estate thing, I had 13 units, single family dwellings, and I was kind of working hard as a fireman and a landscaper, and I just had a lot going on. And so I decided to move back to Texas when my mom passed back in 2019. And I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but you're only going to do what you know how to do. So I let my skills work for me. At the time I was in construction, and I've been doing the landscape thing for, I don't know, probably 25, almost 30 years. So I went back to doing that. And I also had in the back of my mind the real estate. So when I was in Texas back in the 80s, I had an opportunity to work for this oil and acquisition firm, and they also had real estate in it. But you know, when you really don't know what you know, you don't really know what you have. And so when I was working for the company, it was a suit and tie job, but my mind wasn't on the suit and tie job then. So they taught me a little bit, and I stayed with them for about a year. but I was so used to working with my hands, I got back into the field. So I guess they say, man with many talents, jack of all trades, master of none. But at the same time, I knew that I wanted to do real estate. Now, mind you, when I was like 13 years old, my dad had two rental houses, and he worked as a railroader. Then he mowed grass and did landscaping when we was coming up. So I'm talking like back in the early 70s. I'm 62. I don't mind sharing my age or anything like that because God has brought me from a long way. But at the same time, I see the big picture here. So to get back to today, I want to be able to get back to where I know I can be and get some things done where I can help my family and my grandkids. And so when I saw you on Facebook, I said, it seemed like this brother kind of down to earth, seemed like he got his stuff together. So I wanted to join. I wanted to find out more about you. But all the other people that I've talked to or even got courses from, it seemed like they want to sell you something, but they don't really like join in with you and make you a part of the group. So like when I first talked to you, man, it was like we hit it off together. So I understand when you say like, I want to see if you really can fit in the group. So it's like I've been knowing you for a long time. So I can call you Aunt, and I have not known you no more than a month. But it seemed like we've been together for a long time. So when God got people that he put in your life, you kind of build a bond with. And so that's how I don't feel with you. So I said that to say this. I'm looking to go a long way and bring other people into the fold too, because it's not just for me, but it's for everybody that want to go there. So I remember that one scripture in the Bible say the grapes are big on the other side, but you got to be willing to go there. So I have the confidence, and with you teaching me and guiding me where I need to be, I'm sure I can make it.
100%.
Yeah.
And let's shout out to you, and even at 62, because we get members from all ages, from 19 all the way to 80, one
Uh-huh.
high is 7 years old, and you're still doing this thing. And I love that you have that mindset, like I'm gonna continue to win, like boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Definitely. Definitely.
even with myself, I'm at a point where technology changes so fast, and you got to be able to hop in there and be open to learning something new, and then
Right. Right.
start doing that. Like we do like these live streams, and I get people from all across the country in there. But just a couple months ago, I didn't. I knew I should have been doing it, but I wasn't doing it. Now I'm doing it, and I'm making friends across the world right now. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Yeah.
Live.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You're comfortable, and I love that, and I'm excited. And you did one. You did a wholesale deal. How much was your first deal that you did?
Um, it was 15. It was $18,000 actually. It was a duplex in Killeen, Texas. Um, it was an off-market deal, and how I found it was on Happy Investors, and so um, I got on there, and I had been looking for a long time, and so I found one that was under market price, and that's what really gave me the confidence because. When I was running my landscape business, I was used to making 10, 11, $12,000 a month, every month. But I want to say that, when I did that deal, I knew I could get what I wanted to get and even more. But
Mm.
that really gave me the confidence to want to go even further. And so it's something to be able to make it happen and to go to the closing table and then let the people send you the check. The title company, they were real helpful.
Yeah.
So like I said, being out of the game for a little while, but getting back into it, man, it's been good. It's been real good.
Shout out to 18,000 on the first check.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. And I know there's more to come. You just got to find the right deal. Yeah.
100%. So you were speaking my language when we first started. You talk about off market deals, you talk about wholesaling, and really right now it's just about knowing how the technology. Like we're using AI, we're using some proven techniques, and I think you should have at least 2 to 3 main techniques in your arsenal.
Yes,
So I'm
sir.
excited. I'm excited to be working with you moving forward.
Hmm.
Any other last words of motivation for any other members out there that's getting started?
Well, I would like to say just stay true. I mean, every day is not going to be a bed of roses, but if you just stay committed and keep your confidence level up, it's going to happen. Yeah, it's going to happen because it's there, and there's so many people out here that's grabbing this, and so why not be you?
I love it. Now's the time.
Yeah,
Oh, thank
yeah,
you so much for popping in here and sharing your knowledge. It's very inspirational because a lot of members are where you are, just starting out
yeah,
in the game.
yeah.
And I love hearing these stories, and I'm always inspired. So Jerry, thanks again for hopping in here and sharing. And if you could stay there, we're going to bring you back up a little later, okay?
Okay, great.
Awesome, awesome. Wow, that's amazing. We love stories like that of members brand new. He's all the way from the west side over there in Texas, bringing the game here. Ah man, let's take it up. Let's take it up north here. I see RC in there. I see Big Yun. See him in the house. What up, Big Yun? Our superstar coach is in the house, sharing the money knowledge with you guys. You know, Yun is a money guy. He's very good at numbers, very knowledgeable in that area. Um, Also really good. That's why he's so good at now like wholesaling and doing deals and so good with the guests and breaking down stuff. I'm just really simple. I'd be like, listen, boom, boom, boom. This is how much it is. Boom. This is what it is. I'm just like that. But sometimes you got to have that person on your team that's like that can look at everything. He breaks down what the cost going to be here, cost there. He's really good. He's helping out our members. So if you want to hop on a call with Big Young, go make sure you go to the comments area and hop on a call with Young and basically see how he can help you build your real estate business up. He's one of our main coaches here, and he can help you do that. So we just opened up another one because the last one we're full. So we basically just open it up. We get filled up pretty quickly. So make sure you go to the comment section, book a call with us, and just text the number and just let us know you're in there as well. Let's take it back. Let's take it back. So we're going to bring you on up. Big Tim's in the house. A big Anthony Care. So let's take it to New York. I was talking to this member earlier, and I was just really inspired because, you know, so many other people are in his situation, working for years, like over 20 years. I was just a bad employee. You know, it was just never meant for me. I was just, you know, especially coming up, I was really a really bad employee. I was just more rugged on the edges. I like to go on lunch and not come back a couple of hours. And I just wasn't a good employee. So I had to figure out how business worked. Or I probably would have went crazy. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have been happy. I know that because even on some of them jobs years ago, I was just like really stressed out because you're not being yourself. Just like you're not being yourself. Like if you got a car and you know it doesn't fit you, people see it, you feel it. You're like, man, that don't fit you. You know what I mean? You living in the house, you see it, you know it don't fit what you really want. You know what you really want. And there's no substitution for what you really want. So get what you want. And you're gonna have to fight to get there. But when you get it, you're you. Nobody can change you. You're authentic. Just like Jerry said, be true to you. Okay? Let's get you. So we're gonna bring up our next guest here really quick, and we're gonna be bringing up Powerhouse here. We're gonna be talking about home inspections tonight, the good, bad, and the horrible home inspections. But this home inspection, you know, save us about $75,000. And we got a rock star RC in the house. Let's bring up Mr. Jerry Kirkland. Hey. What up, Mr. Jeffrey Kirkland, all the way in New York, by way of Chi-Town. How you doing, sir? I'm not sure if you're on mute or what. I think you're muted out somehow. Let's see. Don't hear you. Still muted. See, There you go. Say something. Let's see if you're live again. Still don't hear you. I'm gonna bring you back up in a moment. We don't hear you, but I see you. I hear you, but I don't see you. I mean, we can see you, but we don't hear you. Try one more time. Say testing 1, 2, 3. Ah, don't hear you. Still don't hear you. Not sure what it is, but while you're working on that, and you can work on that, we're gonna bring you back up here in a moment. Let's bring up the Dave Justice of real estate. We call him that because he goes around impersonating Dave Justice to get free drinks. When we go out to dinner, this is the guy that sits at the table, will say he's a celebrity's name just to get free drinks. He's a cheapskate, I got to tell you. This guy he's taking pictures with people, and I'm like, dude, are you kidding me? Are you serious? He's such a cheapie. But I love this guy. I love his personality, man. I actually met this guy years ago. I was at one of my properties, and he bought a property right next to me. And we just basically connected. And for years, we've just been great friends. And I have a lot of respect for him as well. He's going to tell us really quick how he bought 4 houses using 1 house. Now, you don't need a whole lot of houses to make it big in this game. That's why, because real estate appreciates. It goes up in value for the most part. Make sure you're buying it right when you buy it. But this guy used 1 house to buy 4 houses. He did the triple, the quadruple trifecta, So let's bring him up. Let's bring it up. Mr. Anthony Kerr, welcome to the show. What up?
You silly, man. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Good. I plead the fifth, first of all. And hey, Yon, later on, I want you to tell you the real story, okay? Tell them the real story. Okay, y'all, tell them you said they think you played for the Braves. Just tell them so we can get some free drinks, okay? That's what was said. And I said, no, just do it. So I went along with it, and waitresses and managers wanted to come take a picture. That's the true story.
Yeah,
okay, let's get it.
This guy
But I didn't cheat though. No, man.
Welcome.
Yeah, I appreciate the invite. This is something new to me. I've never really been live on TV. Even though people always think they've seen me on TV. But like Anthony said, when we met. And he would speak of Colombia. And I said, okay, for about a year, I'll make it. And finally, one time I did. And that was our first retreat for the Global Gents, Here we are now, 6 years later, right?
Wow. How time flies, man. You've been doing your thing. So when we talk about the property, you've bought 4 properties using 1 house, and you had them all Section 8. Like, what was your play with getting your property? Because I know you really tight with money. And when you're a numbers guy too, like, dude, we go out. When I'm with friends, I'm like, hey, here's some drink for you, whatever. You want something to eat. This guy will take a picture of the receipt and be like, okay, just in case I have to. I'm like, I'm not even thinking about that. Are you kidding me? He's a numbers guy though. He'll have it down to the T. So what was your play? Because when you got these properties and you got them all Section 8. So tell us about your play with that.
Well, basically, I kind of got the idea of the real estate from my grandparents, my mother's side, 10 kids, where my grandfather owned 2 lots, built a house, and they were all blue collar and married, family, had homes. And I saw how adversity, if a divorce or adversity occurs with families, they're able to come back, regroup, and go back out there. If certain kids needed money for this and this. So that's when I realized, and I'm from Chicago, but I was raised in Evanston. Okay. I grew up in the restaurant business in the Board of Trade, where the family still owns it for 100 years. They're like a father figure. So every summer, Christmas, I worked in the restaurant business. So either I was going to run a restaurant in the Board of Trade or work in the Board of Trade. But instead, I went to play football for Grambling. But I understood then about wealth. Now, I was middle class, upper middle class. So I kind of, understood all of the material stuff, but I just realized about building wealth and how that can help your families down the line. It wasn't so much about money. It was about, getting the assets to leave for your kids. If you can leave assets for your kids, that's more than any banking account or 401k you ever can, provide. So basically, back in '08, my ex-wife went to Spelman, and I, from Chicago, I knew about gentrification. I was in Atlanta. I got there about '96, and I just knew how, being biracial, I just knew demographics, and I just knew over there by the Georgia Dome, which used to be a historical white community. People don't know that back in the '50s. Okay, that I couldn't understand why all of these graduates of Morehouse and Morris Brown and Spelman didn't buy anything over there, And I had to convince my ex-wife to let's buy. So in '08, I bought in Vine City, house for $19,000, convinced her to buy it. She bought one off of DeSoto, and then bought another one in downtown. Didn't live in it, on 7th and Peachtree Street, the Spire building, all in '08, those 3 homes for $250,000. When we originally were going to buy, when the Mapleton just started in '08, for $400,000.
So let's backtrack a little bit. So you knew that gentrification was going on, and it's still going on. So that's why now.
Then it didn't exist. I just saw it because I'm from Chicago. If anyone's by Chicago, on State from Roosevelt South, you knew that was going to be gentrified. West of the Dan Ryan was going to be gentrified, and that's Chicago, and that just happened 20 years ago. So you can see how far Atlanta was. I just knew it was going to be gentrified.
Gotcha. So you were able to have a vision to see that coming.
Yeah. You couldn't go north to Buckhead. You couldn't go Decatur. You see, you can only go south or east of the, downtown. And my big thing was about downtown. No matter what's going on in the market, if you closest to the city, you're gonna always win.
Right. And you found this deal for $19,000, right?
Yeah.
And you still have that property. What's that house valued at today?
$395,000. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about building a legacy. If you have the foresight to buy something right at the right price point, and we see this happening in areas like Detroit, where people are starting to sleep. You want to buy when people are sleeping a little bit, and they're sleeping on a lot of these areas, and it's starting to come up. We're starting to see a rise in some of these areas. And if you got a foresight to see ahead of the game, like we were like back in 2014, everybody was afraid to hop back in.
2008.
Well, you back in 2008, like it's like was crazier times back in 2008. Yeah. You really have to have that vision and that foresight to be able to do that. And how were you able to use that leverage? I know how, but break down, how were you able to use that leverage from that one house to get 4 houses?
Right. So, I've had it rented. My son has lived there. I've never lived in it. Basically what I did was, I did a HELOC in 19. I applied in 19. So now for 2008, I didn't buy anything until 19. And another additional. And at that time, you weren't getting no $20,000, $30,000 houses down in that area. So what you do, you have a line from downtown. Wherever you want to buy in any city, you start in the middle of downtown that city, and you do a radius, 1 mile, 2 mile. And each mile or miles, it'll tell you price points, right?
Yeah.
That's when we met in 2019.
Yeah.
The Cab County, you can get houses for $20,000, $30,000 in 2019, So, so it pushed me out at that point because of the price point. I just took out 100, a HELOC, and I bought 3 other properties, including another one, 4, and 2 in one subdivision, which was ironic, and 2 in another in Park Lorraine, off of Panola. And in the Whitehall Forest Court, and did Section 8, and kept them for a couple years, and just sold them last year, all 4 of them.
Hold up. We're about to get there. Thank you, RC, for breaking down what a HELOC is. It's a home equity line of credit. That's what a HELOC is. So we pulled it out on that house. So the one house that we're talking about, this one subdivision, what price did you buy that one at? Using
Yeah.
this. What
Yeah.
price?
So the one next door to you was like 40, and the other one across the street was like 35. And then I ironically end up getting two in Park Lorraine for 40 and 32.
Okay. And how long did you hold that one in next to me? How long did you hold it? Because you're getting that Section 8 money.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna rent unless it was Section 8. There's no doubt about it. I ain't got time to play all that, you know.
I remember your kid too. She was trying to
Yeah.
hold on to that, boy. She was like, "Hey, you're not going
Yeah.
nowhere. I'm paying these bills." So, and you were profiting pretty good. You had a pretty good deal where you were. What was your profit mode on that Section 8? How much were you clearing?
Well, after taxes and HOA and home warranty and insurance, I was netting 1,000 each,
Wait a minute.
1,100 to 1,000 each.
That's insane. Great profit. So 1,000 each now.
Yeah.
That's different from a lot of these people saying, "Oh, if you're just making $100, you're good." And then
One thing I realize is that, of course, when you have a lot of money, you can make more money. You can take less, a percentage, But when you can take $1, make it $10 versus someone who takes $1 million and make $1 million, just imagine if I had $1 million, I would be making 10 million. So the principle of it is that, yes, you can find, yes, I could have took that HELOC and bought one house or two, but the information is there. Section 8 will tell you zip codes, what size bedrooms, how much they're going to pay you. So I choose to look at certain zip codes and certain price points and bedrooms. And I knew the rent market, and that's where I end up buying. In that,
that's pretty cool. I didn't know. So you can go to Section 8 and just type in the zip code, and they'll tell you how much they.
Yeah, in their portal, they'll give you a list of zip codes and each bedroom size, a range of price for their Section 8, each bedroom, like a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom. Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's pretty neat. So talk about that Section 8 money. Woo! During COVID, come on. Hey, and Section 8 pay on the 6th, which is the first part of every month. You get that.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
I like that. I like when they pay the whole amount because, I'll be like, you know what? Don't worry about it. The Section 8 got your benefit. As long as you keep that property up on point and you pass these inspections, you're good. They're paying your bills. So I like that Section 8 money is guaranteed. So how long did you keep it? Because I know you recently sold it. How long did you keep it? And you bought it at 40. What did you end up selling it for? Like, how long did you keep it first?
So pretty much I kept them for a little bit over 3 years. And I pretty much doubled my money and sold them.
So you sold these things about $80K?
Yeah, 75. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
These guys' numbers are ridiculously great.
Yeah. Yeah. So so it was a good journey. It was
Man, I see why you be balling out of control.
And the funny thing about it is, I bought actually 5 properties within 3 months because I was also, when I applied for that HELOC, I was applying for another primary because I own a condo on 7th and Peachtree in the Spire building where I stayed. So I also bought a primary in Monticello subdivision off of Tufton between Central and Cleveland, a gated community built in 2007 or 10.
Wow.
Which had a Section 8 tenant in there. I told them they can stay. They're in it to this day. Yeah.
That's neat. So
I actually got 5 properties from December 19 to 2020 around April, March.
Oh man, I got it corrected. I have 4 properties. Look at me.
Well, that's yeah. And what's so funny thing about it is the primary was only 3%, which is about $3,700, and the HELOC was only a $500 payment on my house that I bought for $19,000. So
I love those types of plays.
Yeah.
So you found a property, you took a chance and bought a property, you let it appreciate and build
Yeah.
up. Then you got a HELOC. You use that money to buy 5 houses because that's appreciating. Now that same property's worth triple what you bought it for. It's like 350 some thousand now. You kept that property. It paid for where you lived. It
Yeah.
spun off an extra $1,000 in cash flow,
Yeah.
that guaranteed money.
Yeah.
And now you're about to do this thing all over again. What?
Yeah. And somewhat, yeah, and somewhat, absolutely, you know, yeah, and somewhat, because now
Man,
I'm going to refinance that house that's worth 400,000, and I only owe less than 100 from the HELOC.
man. See,
Yeah.
this is why I
So
tell people it don't
yeah,
take a whole lot. You don't have to go crazy at a certain
yeah,
point. You don't have to buy a family building and come in on your first swing. You just basically had to have some foresight on how to buy the properties and know where to buy the properties and take action with that foresight, especially if you got a team in place to help you do that. So, I mean, that's how you can retire early. It don't take like, a million properties to do it. You got to have a strategy going into this thing. Would you agree?
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's let me put it this way. I'm big on principles, and no matter how big you in the game or how long you've been in it, you're continuing doing it. Okay. There's no one stopped doing anything. You can't stop living. You know what I mean?
There you
And
go.
everybody started from the beginning. Everybody, Donald Trump, everybody started from the beginning. But, you can acquire more and want more, but you have to think about what do you need and how much do you need depend on how much you want. Okay.
Mm,
And if you can separate those things, I give these analogies. Let's say you make 50 grand net a month, but your bills of everything is 35. So you net 15 grand a month. Okay.
mhm,
Let's say you make $18,000 a month net and your
mm,
bills is $3,000 a month. It's the
mhm.
same net. You
Wow,
see?
man. You're a numbers
See?
guy, man. I see why you be taking pictures of all the receipts. I see how
It's
you be
just,
doing it now. You're a tight
but
wad.
look,
You
I
gotta
take
make
those
some
pictures
money.
because, in Colombia, they look at you, let's charge a little bit more. Let's charge a little bit more,
That's a shout out to the Global Gents. Cloud to the Joe Global Gents. You're part of that organization. Big Yun, one of the co-founders of that, and I know you're a part of that. Shout out to Big Yun as well in the house. We're gonna be bringing him up here in a minute. But man, that's exciting, man. So, what advice would you want to end up giving as we get to the closing here? A new person getting started in the real estate game. What advice would you give?
Well, you basically, this is how I look at it, okay? Is, first, everybody wants to start a business and make money, right? But first, you should start off as how much it costs for you to live, okay? How much is your expenses, your bills, your expenses, okay? Get a property to make some residual income to chop that down, okay? And when you get enough property and residual income coming from rentals to have all your bills at zero, okay,
Mhm.
then you can move forward and take more risks or, do a variety of different things. But first, get your living free. You know what I
Live
mean?
it free.
Get your living free. So if your bills is 10,000 a month, get that free first. Yeah. So
Oh
just
yeah,
start with that first. You know what I mean? Instead of saying I want to make money, because people don't realize the more money you have, you end up spending more. Okay. You know?
it is true. You're gonna spend some money for
Yeah.
real. 100%, man. I
Yeah.
love it, man. Man, thank you so much for hopping in here and sharing that information, man. And I see everybody like glued up to the computer. They were like on the edge of their seats, man, to hear your story.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it, man. So thank you so much for sharing that
Oh no, I
story.
appreciate you, man.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. So
Yeah.
we probably bring you back home, man. So if you can stick around, man, we'll probably bring you back up here in a minute. If you can stick around in a moment, okay?
Yeah. We'll share the
All
next
right.
venture.
There we go. There we go. Stay right there. We'll bring you back up. Wow, what a great story. Found one property and bought not one, not two, three, or four, 5 deals. That's leverage, man. That's real leverage right there. That is true wealth building. That's legacy. Somebody said, somebody dropped it in there. Somebody said legacy. Type it in the comments, legacy, man. Legacy. Legacy right there. Helped his kids out. His kid was able to stay in one of the properties for a while, and then he was like, well, I need that property. You might have to get out. I need that. And he had his stay at least. And now it's time, he's building up. But so now his kids see how he's able to do it, and they're never going to forget that. That's in their mind forever. My dad had a property. I stayed in his property. And now when he gets older, he's like thinking about, wow, what can I do for my kids? So he's going to basically start a cycle of building wealth in the family because the kids were able to see him do it. Now, when they get to that point, they're tired of working their 9 to 5, maybe they're already doing it. They're going to be thinking about, how can I invest like my dad or my mom? So you got to show them the way. I'm excited, man. I'm excited. So great story right there. So let's see if our guy, Jeffrey, is ready yet. Let's bring it back to the stage. Are you ready? Can we hear you? I don't know what's going on, but we want to get y'all here so bad. I'm like, man, I'm looking at like, oh, my guy is ready over there. Let's see. Let's see what we doing with here. So, oh, it's muted. It's just muted. Let's see if we can unmute you. Let's see. Say something now. Because you still don't hear you. I'm not sure what's going on. You're on your phone, right? You're doing this from your phone? Whew. It look like you're on mute. We just don't hear you. That's the problem. I'm not sure what's going on. It don't look like you just unmuted. Let's see. Mute. And then let's unmute. Yeah, there you unmuted. So I'm not sure what's happening over there. Maybe if you log out and try logging back in, let's see if that helps. We'll bring you back up. Let's try that. But man, I'm hearing like some amazing stories tonight. I love hearing these real stories because you typically don't. You always see a person out there in the shine, but sometimes you don't hear their story and how they did it. And I love these real estate stories because you can always get some clues from it, like how you can invest and how you can help yourself and get access to more opportunities. So I love hearing these stories. So tonight, now we've been talking about this for a while now. Now we had a home inspection that saved us $75,000. $75,000. Now there's two things when you're investing you want to always get: some type of insurance, title insurance, and an inspection. Title insurance and an inspection. Now, if that inspection goes wrong, you're going to be tied into that property and you're going to have to basically eat the cost up. So that's why it's so important to have the right inspector look at your deals when you're out there investing, because they can basically make you money. The right home inspector or contractor, GM, makes you money. And it's actually going to be life-changing for you, because if you can learn how to make money when you're buying your deals, you're going to keep making money after you bought that deal. Now, we recently had a deal we were looking at, and it was a wholesale deal that we were looking at buying, and it was a new investor that we're looking at this deal. So we said, let's have an inspector look at it. So the new person was ready to get it. I was like, let's have an inspector look at it. Now, you want to also gauge what's your threshold you want to go over. Now, if you're a newbie to this, now it can get really, really scary when you're investing, especially if you don't know what you're doing, because you're going to run through thousands of dollars so fast, it's going to blow your mind, especially if you do it the wrong way. So it's very important that you invest the $300, the $500 into an inspector. Just like if you were buying a car, you won't just buy it. You will invest the $300 to $500, have it taken to a shop and let them do a thorough check. Because if you don't do this, you're stuck with whatever comes with that. So we're going to be bringing her up, RC. She's from an ATL. We're going to be bringing her up in here. Let's see if our guy, you ready now? Let's see. Is it working now? Man, we still don't hear you. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what, and you're ready too, man. Oh man, we're ready to bring you on here live too. I don't know what's going on. It doesn't look like you're muted or anything. I see you muted right now. Okay, let's try it now. Yes. Let's see. Nope, don't hear you. Maybe it's the volume. Try turning the volume up. If you could turn the volume up, or maybe even use that same link from a different phone, that may help. But I'm not sure what it is. Man, that's insane. That's insane. That's insane. Ah, man. Well, we're gonna try it again. Just keep trying. We're gonna bring you back up here in a moment. Let's just keep trying and see if we can get you in there because you're ready. Because when I talked to him earlier, he was actually at his day job that he's been working over 20 years, tired of his 9 to 5, ready to start investing in real estate. And he's a man of his word. He joined one of our programs that we have, and he's back on here tonight to give his story. So I know he's a man of his word. So we're gonna work with you, see if we can get you on here. If we don't get you on here tonight, we definitely got to get you in the next one. We got to do a sound check next time. Make sure we get you in here. So without further ado, and we have our rock star Big Yun in the house. Yun is gonna have to start doing these calls too because Yun is the guy. He got the personality. We call him the Rock. You'll see him raise an eyebrow once in a while because everybody thinks he's the Rock around here. He's the Rock of wholesaling and construction and all that stuff. So we'll be bringing him up here as well. But without further ado, guys, let's bring up a rock star that's out of Atlanta. She's also running the streets in the suburbs around Atlanta. She is a land shark. So she's a shark. When she walk in the room, she's about business. She got her battle wounds, but when you see her, you don't see it. Let's welcome to the house, the one, the only, RC. Hey.
Hey, Antonio.
How you doing?
I'm good. Busy, but good. I'm glad to be on tonight. This is great. I don't often get a chance to do these, so this is super fun. I love it.
Oh, we're so excited and honored to have you on here tonight. You saved us $75,000 headache, and I was like, when I heard your story, I was like, wow. And then you were a great referral from our guy, Big Tim Harvey. Shout out to Big Tim Harvey. I was a superstar over there as well. And you came through it for us. You looked at the property, and you were able to give us some play-by-play numbers. So I'm glad to have you on here. I want to basically just start off hear your story. How'd you get into this? Because I know you got some, is it military or army background as well? And I don't see you on
here. No. Look, I am compliant enough to be in the military. I don't have that compliance in me.
Okay. That was you. But when I heard your experience for the first time, I knew you have been through a lot, and you have a lot of experience in this area. So how did you get into home inspection area?
Well, I mean, first of all, I'm a whole entire investor, right? That's what I do. I was literally, just so happens I was working on a project in Macon, which I'm not usually in Macon, and I had my team down there. And so when Tim called me, because a lot of my programs revolve around making sure that we have the right products. I don't just buy houses. I buy the right product for what it is that we do. And so I do a lot of analyzing, which my background is in analyzing. My background is in even from a corporate arena. I was doing analysis on a high level for the CEOs and VPs of my company. So I consistently learned how to analyze data, and it's just kind of transferred into what I'm doing now in real estate. And when you are purchasing a property or rehabbing a property, like I do with me and my team, we analyze the total the total scope of the property, not just the structural or the cosmetic, but we analyze the market, we analyze the area, we analyze what is the end goal, what does the neighborhood look like. We're looking at the thing in totality. So it just has come over time to make sure that, like you always say, I heard you say it earlier, is that, the biggest thing we always say is you don't make money on the sale, you make money on the buy. The better you buy, the more money you make on the sale. The worse you buy, the risk that you run of not making the types of profits that you want. So for me and my team, analysis is a very huge part of it, along with having the proper teammates that are involved, that work with me, so that we can make sure to make good moves for the products and the outcomes and the financial outcomes that we're looking for.
Wow, great points, great points. So you're not only a home inspector, but you're an investor overall. So you invest in real estate, buy real estate. You've been doing this for a while now.
Since 2016, I started off a wholesaler.
Wholesaling in the house. Shout out to all the wholesalers in the house.
Yeah, that's where my start is. That's where I started at. I'm a licensed realtor. We flip. I do a lot. But that's come over time. I love what the other guy was saying, talking about generational wealth. That's huge for me and my family. I have 2 girls, which is why I look crazy tonight. So y'all excuse me, because I am still a full-time mom. I'm a whole.
When Tim introduced you and I was talking to you, I'm like, I don't see how she does. She don't sound like she does home inspection, because sometimes you do home inspection, you imagine this big grizzly guy that's gonna come over there, with his check sheet, looking at stuff, getting dirty, to climbing under there. I'm like, wow, you don't sound like it, but you're good at numbers. And we talked about how you have that analytic mindset.
Correct. Yeah. And that's really the biggest thing is, I think you said it earlier, we follow the numbers. You look at what things cost and you really learn to follow the numbers. And I've learned to do that because I've had some really good partners, and they've taught me very good to follow the numbers, because I'm a very optimistic person, and I'll look at a fish, honey, and I'll try to whittle it down until it fits in my net. But I have learned that in this market, if you want the level of returns that you are seeking, that you have to be able to follow the numbers, not love the house, but you love the asset, that it will produce the outcome that you want it to produce.
Wow, I love it. I love it. And I love also because we have a lot of female investors now, even in our masterminds every week. Like, what advice can you give the female investor now? Because we deal with men and women from all across the country.
Like, what information would I give for a woman who wants to be in this world? I just tell them that, for one, don't be scared, because the women, this is really a man's world, right? But
don't be scared.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared. My whole entire team is all men. But I'm the boss, but my whole team is full of men, and you have to be okay with who you are, and and begin to learn. Like, I make sure that the people that I surround myself with to learn, that I'm literally the that has the least value in my scope of people that I learn from. So, those that are closest to me, I make sure that I keep people that have far exceeded where it is that I'm currently at. So I'm always in a position that no matter what I'm doing, I'm always wanting to learn, how do you get to the 8 figures? How do you get to, where you're doing, the very, very large deals? And so I keep my circle very much ahead of where it is in my projected growth. I don't really, I don't spend a lot of my quality time with people that are where I'm at or have not achieved, unless I'm pouring in, mentoring, doing things like this. Because in this world, and when I say world, I'm talking about real estate world, it really is a male dominated field. And you have to try to make sure that you keep your edge as a woman by understanding the market, understanding what you're talking about. And when you don't know, go to the right sources like an Antonio to make sure that you are learning what you need to learn so that you can become an expert, because knowledge is power. And in this industry, money can fall through your hands like water if you do not have the right people around you to help you scale up. So, I tell all women, stand in your womanhood and just don't be scared. Like, you cannot be scared.
Don't be scared.
Right.
Somebody,
You just
I
gotta
bet in
do
the
it.
comments, don't be scared. Don't be scared. You know, they say scared money don't make money, which is
Our
true
money
because
does
money
not make
loves
money.
yes, I love it. I love that. So we did an inspection here recently.
Right.
What are some of the biggest challenges that you find with a new investor they make when they're buying a property? I know for one, they don't get an inspection and they get
That
surprised. What are some of the things that you found?
Well, one of the biggest things is they're so anxious to get into something that they don't really pay attention to the things that are really going to cost them because they don't really know. And I believe as somebody who is new, it is key to have somebody. And I tell people all this. I tell even the women that I mentor this much is that you're going to pay either way. You're going to pay somebody like Antonio, or you're going to pay because it's going to cost you from your mistakes, right? So what would you rather do? You would pay for somebody who is going to impart knowledge into you so that you don't make those mistakes so that you can begin to be profitable early on. And so, one of the things I tell new people is don't be in a rush to find the right deal. Find the right deal so that you can be successful because
Ooh,
it can deter you. It can deter you and it can bankrupt you. So be smart, be wise, take your time and follow the numbers. That's it. Bottom line. I run into people in this industry that fall in love with the house. Oh, I love the house. Oh, this is great. This is not about whether you're going to fall in love. This is not your house. This is not your dream. This is an asset that is being used to make money and to generate an income for you. So you don't fall in love with the house. You don't fall in love with all the beautiful things that you think you can do to it. You fall in love with the numbers. You fall in love with the ROI, the return on your investment. That's what you fall in love with. Don't fall in love with anything else. If it doesn't meet the criteria, if it doesn't meet the neighborhood, if it doesn't meet your scope of budget, if it doesn't meet your structural options that you're looking for, don't fall in love with it. There's always a deal out there. You want to find the right deal and not just a deal.
100%. I love it. You speak. Where's that bacon grease sound effect? Because you cooking. You cooking. I love it because I was just talking to an investor earlier, and I was telling him he's going to have to educate this particular seller because they're looking to sell a property. It's too overpriced, but that's probably like their last house before they retire, and they're just trying to make the most. But they've been there for like 30, 40 years, so they're going to want the most they can. But you're going to have to educate them based on the numbers why you're not going to pay them that price. It's education. You can't fall in love with an investment property. Sometimes things change. Like I've bought properties thinking I'm going to rent them and keep them for years, and the market changed. I'm like, now's the time to sell that one and do something different. You know what I mean? So you got to be able to shift as well while you're doing this thing. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Pivoting is necessary in this market. I mean, you can't be in real estate without the ability to pivot, without the ability to look at multiple outcomes. I don't even buy a property unless I have at least 2 exit strategies because the market changes, the market pivots. And so even when I'm looking at a property, I still have to have, okay, this is what I want to do. But if worst case scenario, the market shifts, it doesn't do what I think, what is the secondary option to be able to get out of it? So I don't ever go into a deal with a singular notion of I'm just going to flip. Well, if the market changes and it's not going to work, will this property still be able to rent until I can put it back up on the market to be able to get the type of returns that I want? So again, I'm always looking at multiple options. I don't ever go into a property with a singular option. And again, those are the things that we have to be knowledgeable of. We have to know about. Exit strategy is important. When you go into a house, what is my exit strategy? Am I gonna hold it long term? Do I want to just flip? Am I gonna be okay if I have to carry the note for 3 months, 6 months, or however, in case the market turns? Because we're in times where the market can be volatile, and you have to be prepared for that. It doesn't mean that you shrink back. It just means that you strategically plan better, so that you have more options in case the market does what it's going to do. And and I love the thing when you talk about you have to educate people when they're overpriced, because people are not concerned necessarily with the market. They're concerned with what their need is. And I tell people, this is one thing I say all the time. A house is only worth what somebody is willing to pay for it. Doesn't matter what they say the ARV is. It's only worth what somebody's willing to pay for it. If nobody is willing to pay for it, guess what the house is worth? Nothing.
100%. Come on, y'all. Come on. Somebody type in cooking in there. Can we type in cooking? Type in cooking because she's over here cooking over here. I can hear that bacon grease. It's frying on the pan right now. I'm in the pan. It's frying. I can smell that bacon grease. It's cooking. So that's what I'm talking about. I love that. So, we got your partner in crime in the house as well. He's going to join us. Big Tim Harvey. What's up, Big Tim?
Hey. That's my boy right there, y'all. For real, for real.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, fam? You guys doing?
Star-studded event tonight. We got some heavy hitters in the house with us, just sharing the knowledge. And me and Tim, we worked on a lot of deals over the years, fix and flip. Some we kept for rentals, and so you guys know your stuff. It's like from your point of view, Big Tim, I know we always are analyzing deals as well, just like she loved analyzing deals. What are some of the things that you recommend, like when doing home inspections for newbies?
I mean, there are a couple of things that you definitely want to look at. And I guess it really kind of depends on, the condition of the home. If it's a house that's tore up from the floor up, that's one thing. But, if it's a house that, that needs a little bit of rehab, there are a couple of things that I think you just really need to look for. You want to check and see if the AC is on, that kind of stuff. The electricity, if it's on, you want to be able to check that kind of stuff. You want to be able to check the, I always tend to check basements for whatever reason. I always try to look underneath the house. I was at a house the other day where they were recommending a certain price for it. It was going to auction, and they were recommending a certain price for it. And nobody had went inside the house. The bank that bought the property back, they didn't go inside the house. They didn't go underneath the house or anything like that. And it had just rained. So when I went down into the basement, man, that whole thing was full of water. So, those are some things that I look at immediately when I go to a place is, I always check the crawl space for the basement because, those kinds of things, water treatments and things of that nature can cost $8,000 or more. So those are some things that I immediately look at when I go to a home.
Tim, I love inspections after the rain because a rain inspection will reveal to you what things in the sun will not.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, those are some things that I definitely look at. Before anything else, I just want to say thank you guys for inviting me on. Thank you, Tony. I'm grateful for the relationship that we've had for years and years. We've made a lot of money together, and I'm so grateful for that. I'm grateful that that you've been able to expand what you know onto this platform, and being able to educate thousands and thousands of new people into this business, man. I mean, it's invaluable. So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to even speak. And RC, you're my girl, so thank you so much. Absolutely.
You say it's good, it's good. I don't need nothing else said.
Absolutely.
I love it. So
one thing I love about this business is this is truly a business of relationships. I mean, you can't get this thing done alone. Relationships are the things that have carried me throughout my time in this business. So I'm grateful for that. So
wow.
And
No, go ahead.
I tell people all the time, I said, relationships in this business, especially in the Atlanta market, as big as Atlanta market is, it's really a small market of people who are
Very
actually
small.
doing do. And I tell people all the time that to make money consistently, it takes relationships. This is a relationship-based business. Do not burn bridges. Be good, be integral, be a person that does what you say you're going to do. And if you don't do it, you need to have a really good reason why you don't, because you never know when somebody is talking about you, good or bad. A lot of my best investors and partners came because they were watching me when I didn't know that somebody was watching me. They were listening for who it is I was. Was she really going to complete this? Did she really do this? My largest partner to date, and I want newbies to hear this, my largest partner to date, when he offered me a partnership, and he is a consistent net worth of 8 figures, right? When him and I did a deal, we did a deal before, and then he saw me struggling through a deal. And I kept pushing and I kept pushing and I wouldn't stop, not knowing that he was really paying attention to how I was going to handle this. And I ended up, when everybody else was telling me it's going to take a loss, I kept saying, no, I just don't believe it. The market is going to shift. Like I was very adamant about continuing to move forward and not just selling for the loss. Long story short, the deal ended up making money, paid everybody back. And one of the things he said to me was, he said, I would love the opportunity for us to be able to partner, because when most people normally give up, I watched you continue to push through the deal to make sure that it performed and make sure that it did. And he offered me a partnership. And to this day, I can take any deal that I want to do to him, and he will finance it, and we will split the deal 50-50. But that was because somebody was watching. And that's the importance of relationship and doing what you say you're going to do in this market.
Ooh, shout out to that. Okay. Because people are always watching you, especially as leaders. Like, you got to show up. And then when you show up, you got to show out.
That's right.
Do what you got to do. So, because, like I said, it's a small market, but bad stuff get out there really quick, and you wouldn't be able to do it. Like, I've never heard anything bad about any of you guys. Like, some people you hear like stuff all the time. You're like, how are they still around? It's like, but you're 100% right, and that's just a great story. And it's not how the deal goes; it's how you react when a challenge arises. How do you respond to the problem? Because people are always looking at how are you going to respond to that. People understand things happen, but how are you going to respond to that issue? That makes you have the true character of a person that someone wants to work with. So that's amazing. So what was one of your worst situations, like when it comes down to home inspections? Like, I know you have a couple, like what's
the deal I'm talking about that I struggled through? That deal, that was my deal personally, right? And it was actually a deal I was trying to wholesale, and I called myself, going through the inspection. And y'all, when I tell you, it was a challenge. It was a surprise. We cut back the bushes after we got on the house, and this is why you have to make sure. This was a learning lesson for me, even in inspecting homes. When we cut back the hedges on the house, because the hedges were high, cut back the hedges on the house, and the lower half of the front house was completely eaten out.
Whoa, not eaten out.
Like,
you have houses like that can be scary. You look down and the house is just eaten away.
Oh my God. I wish I had the pictures I could show you guys. Y'all, it was at that moment that I went to my car and I was like, I'm just going to cry for about 3 minutes, get it out really good. And this was a hard lesson for you to learn, because we ended up having to go in and go up under the house and put in new beams, new joists, new everything at the front of the house, missing something because I didn't pay attention to what was behind the hedges, even though there was house behind there. Just didn't pay attention to it. I missed it. And it was that was a really rough deal. So when you talk about, inspections, you really want to make sure that you're looking at everything. So I thought I caught everything, and we got to trimming those, and those bushes were really high. When I walked up and I saw that the whole front of the house was eaten out, y'all, I could not tell y'all how I felt.
That was crazy.
Wow. So wait a minute. So the seller had hid the eating away part.
I wouldn't
Eroded
even
how
say he did it. I don't even know that he was a great landlord or buyer. I don't even think
yeah.
they knew because the hedges were so high
They
that
probably didn't know.
you didn't really pay attention. You just kind of walk around the house. It was hedges. They were really full. But when I got there, I started into the rehab and I went to go cut it down. And I thought, oh, y'all got to be lying to me. Y'all, this is not happening.
So that was a learning experience, and sometimes you're gonna learn in a short amount of time instead of a long period of time. Like you go get a college degree, they may push whatever you're like trying to learn like way like 3-4 years later. In real estate, you're gonna learn really quick. So it's
Boy.
like a learning experience. It's like your college degree. You're gonna learn it fast or not. You're gonna learn one way or the other.
Which is why
So
they need somebody like you to cut the learning curve. Like for real.
Cut that curve in half.
yeah, because we've seen so many issues and so many things that when you think one thing's not going to happen, it always happens. Like we go in a deal, we know we're going to get surprised with something.
Yeah.
Every deal we go into, something we didn't find out, even if, and sometimes it could be a title issue. Maybe they didn't catch it. It can be, something on an inspection, they didn't catch that or, didn't think it was that bad. Something's going to arise. So it's good to have some type of reserves in place. I remember doing a deal once, and this happened after the deal was ready, about to close. 5 days, a tree fell on the property. And we could have avoided that by cutting the limb before because it was hanging over the roof from the neighbor. You'd be like, yeah. But you got to have foresight when you're going into these things. You don't always catch everything, but you got to always go into these things knowing that you're doing your best when you're buying it and just also embrace yourself if something happened afterwards. You have a little reserves to help you out to get through it. So, wow, that is interesting. So, so that was more like a foundational issue, which is a big deal.
Oh, God, yes. Like it increased my budget and everything. Like it was just, I'm telling y'all, oh God, that deal right there. And this is the deal that again, my now partner was watching me matriculate through. This deal was the deal from hell. I'm telling you. I walked in. I had to fire a contract crew. I walked in there, told them something's going on with the subfloors. We've got to open them up. We've got to put new floors on them. At that time, we'll look at the beams. I come back in. At the time, my lead general contractor. I come back in, my whole floors are in. I was like, oh, okay, y'all took care of the beams, y'all looked at the floors, and I go step on them, and I was like, no one has looked at the beams. I went to my car, and I got myself together and came back in and fired everybody and had to bring in new team because they ruined $6,000 worth of brand new flooring. God, it was just, that was the deal from It was the deal from hell. It's amazing because I still made money because I bought it right and the market shifted correctly. Still made money.
Still. 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 Till this day. Still made money on the deal. So you make money when you buy that deal. Because when I'm buying a deal, I'm looking at the worst case scenario. The market may change. If we're dealing with having to do hard money, they may call in all their loans. Anything can happen. So I'm looking at all factors, things that can happen. Like, what's my quickest exit strategy? Can I hold this? Can I rent it out quickly? How soon can I get my money back if I need to get my money back?
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking at all those different factors. So, wow, that's a reality. Like, this is a whole reality check. Things that people really don't think about when they're investing. That's why it's always good to have a seasoned person look at that. Like we have a new investor that's just doing a flip, and myself and another investor went out to look at it, just give him an inspective from an investor site. We helped him get out a layout, do a whole layout plan, do some open space. We gave him some advice, and he flipped that deal, made an extra 6 figures on that property just for getting the insight of changing a few concepts in the layout of that property. So just having that on your team is like invaluable, and it's going to always make you money. So you buy right, and you get the right team. So wow, that's amazing. Y'all dropping. Shout out to the gyms guys dropping it. Yeah, we shining over here. My guy Big Young been over here, man. We got to bring Big Young, and he got to enter this conversation because
Big
he's there.
Young,
On
Big
the rock.
Young.
Where you at? Where you at? Where you at, man? Where you at, man? Bring the rock in the house, man. Where you at, Big Young? Where you
But
at?
Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
we can hear you, bro.
We
Where?
hear you.
They can't. Okay, but can you see me as well?
Can't
No,
see you at all, bro.
You're not in the office.
Okay. Oh no, now I'm sorry. I'm in my mobile office now. I have a little quick emergency that I have to take care of, but I'm here. I'm still here.
Okay, cool. Man, you're like a dark screen right now.
No, because I was in my home office and now I'm on the road. So
Yeah.
now I can see. There you go. But of course, my wife is driving, so I'm gonna just take it out for a second.
Okay. And we
But I've been listening. Wow.
I
What
see
a
you there, man.
stories.
So Big Young, I'm gonna let you ask a quick question, then we're gonna take you out because of the screen that we're gonna save. What can you add to this conversation? Are you hearing these stories?
Yes. Well, do your numbers right. You always make money when you buy. And I feel, her frustration because that happens all the time. Listen, one of the things when I have clients or new investors, they're like, yeah, I would like to get in real estate. I would like to start flipping houses. I'm like, okay, first of all, what do you do for a living? So if he tells me that he's like, oh, I'm from Deloitte Consultant. I am from, I don't know, Wall Street. This business ain't for you. No. Forget about it. None of that. Let's have a briefing at 10 o'clock in the morning with all the Mexicans and all the contractors. And then they say, no, that ain't going to happen. That's not going to happen. I had a client whose background came from, like Ernest & Young. He said, Young, why these guys are never on time? I'm like, welcome to construction. And when I heard her saying you fire people, it's like, yeah. When I used to own my construction crew, right? I was doing like $1 million houses, and I was telling the guys, listen, if you're doing some plumbing job, put some boot or something to cover your shoes or whatever, because I would get a client call me, hey man, you guys are great, but I'm like, oh my God, what happened with this butt? They scratched the floor. I'm like, oh no. And the floor came from Mongolia. I don't know, somewhere in Cambodia. It was imported. And I'm like, oh my God. So all the money that I made, I have to pay back on repair the damage. So trust me, you got to do your homework right, do your numbers right. Analyze everything. I totally agree what she says. She luckily, she had a buffer there. Even though that she fired people, she still made money. Yes, but imagine if that wasn't the case. A lot of people are, working on the edge. Like you said, right now, we have to refi. In this moment, in this market, I have to refi for hard money loans through other private lenders because, they didn't sell the property. Interest rate went up, from 4 to 7%. That was an emergency brake on the sales, on the speed on the sales. So it is, you got to do it. You should tell everyone, try to do it with your own funds first for you to learn the time frame, and then use private funding. Or, what she was saying, or if you get a partner, let's say you buy the house and somebody else puts a rehab, yes, but that way the cost. You got to know your ROI, everything. Because if not, it could be ugly. It could be a nightmare. I've done many property. I know Tim has helped me, wholesale many deals, and I funded a lot of deals, and some of them are successful. Some of them like, I'm already on the threshold. and the biggest mistake. I talked to Tim about this the other day. Tim, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, brother.
Yeah, Tim. The other day I was telling you about the problem that we have with new investor is like, let's say if their budget was, I don't know, I'm going to say 50,000, and they went over 30,000, that's 80. They want to put that on the sales price. Oh, if the ARV are 250, let's do 280. Just to kind of oh no, don't do that. And she's laughing. She knows, because guess what happens? My house is not selling. Whose fault? Oh, the realtor, the listing agent's fault. No, that's not the listing agent's fault. It's your fault.
Yeah.
You gotta price it right from the beginning. And yes, and if you went over budget, hey, you gotta take the loss. But I had so many loans that when I called back saying, listen, what's going on? They said, well, we went over our budget on the rehab. And I'm like, okay, well, thing happens. They said, yeah, so we like to put the ARV, it's like 400. They put the house in 470. I'm like, no, no, you ain't never gonna sell that house, never. Especially in this market at a 7% interest rate. No, that's not gonna happen. And there you go. They've been paying for more than a year, their hard money loan. So they lost time. Time is money. Time is really
Especially
money.
in hard money. Especially in hard money.
Oh,
And
Yeah.
cost, it's just too much. Like the holding cost, all of it, it's too
Exactly.
much.
So you have to know. That's why you have to have experience. You have to, JB, with somebody that knows what they're doing. If you're new in this business, if you're new in the game, you definitely have to try to piggyback or learn from somebody that already been doing it. Because, the other problem is that we have is that most people remodel their house. It's like you're gonna live in it. So you go way above, way above and beyond the rehab design. Okay, so that's a lot of thing too. If you have a basic standard, design, you cannot go going like HD TV, like this beautiful marble imported from California. Like, no, don't do that. Yeah. Well, you're laughing because it happens. She knows what I'm talking about. Well, especially when you have partners
Hey,
and they tell like,
hey, yeah.
no, I don't like this. I don't like this hardwood floor. Can we go with this one? Like, they already jumped the budget.
Jan, is there ever a time where that's justified, Jan and RC?
But justifying what exactly?
Spending the extra money on a property like what Jan just described.
Well, I just did it. I just did it on my home in Stockbridge. I had a property. It was a magnificent property, meaning that I think we dropped like 65,000 into it, but it was mainly updates, right? But the reason why I was able to do that is because I put out a sign that said coming soon, and before the end of the day, I had people already hitting me up, right, wanting to put in offers. The houses in the area were selling 5 days on the market, over $10,000 asking. So when we finally narrowed it down to somebody who had already had their money ready, they had everything, and they were like, and we did kind of like a pre-sale on the house, and they wanted some upgrades, right? Something that I wouldn't normally do. But even in doing those upgrades, I still made sure that those upgrades, if something fell out, that it would still appeal to the audience, maintain the budget, because they liked white. And as an investor, I don't necessarily like white appliances and stuff. So what I did was I spent a lot more money on very elevated, high-end white products, just in case if it fell through, that I wouldn't have to try to swap out appliances because I did not have a high quality stainless steel product in there, right? So I went with something much more high end. So in case it didn't work, I would still be able to put it on the market. I knew I had a very hot property in a very hot market. And so I knew that the chances of me being able to upgrade, because even though I pre-sold it, we didn't accept the offer until they went $8,000 over what our original asking price was. So we still knew that this is a good property and we can do more than what we normally would have done, because it is positioned right. It's in the right area. The days on market is good. The neighborhood is good. It was like 4 houses down from the clubhouse, like it was in Eagles Landing. It was just a beautiful, from a real estate standpoint, when you look for a home run, it was a home run already. So me being willing to edge it out a bit, I knew that I was not running a risk. I knew that I had mitigated the risk, because it's always a risk, right? I knew I had mitigated the risk the best way possible. Go ahead, Jan.
I was going to ask you, was this recently?
Yes.
Yes, because guys, check what? Location. You just said Stockbridge. I'm like, duh. Yes, of course. Location. Stockbridge is hot. Eagles Landing. Come on. You do your homework right. So it's all about doing your homework. Sometimes we like to bring that Alpharetta flavored, farm like style down south. But that's what I was. Well, of course, you're in a subdivision that's really hot, one of the best school districts. So, guys, you do
Yeah.
you do your homework right. Not only about the property, the location, school
Yeah.
district, upcoming. Like I tell everybody, and like I was talking to Tim as well. Many years ago, you got to go to the city municipality or anything like that, or those city hall events, and you know what's going to happen the next 4 to 5 years.
Yeah.
And that way you're ahead of the game. That's how I made my money in Decatur and East Point and College Park. I mean, Tim know about it. Tony, you know about it. So if you already know some information about what's happening in Stockbridge, what's coming up there, that's just another way to add value to your real estate game.
Absolutely.
And yes, absolutely. You got to do your numbers right. At the end of the day, guys, do your numbers right. Be analysis. And too much analysis, create paralysis, right?
Right.
You got to know. And that's like one of the things we were talking about with the house that I just inspected for you guys is one of the things that I noticed. Remember when we brought it to the attention, I said, where this is located, it is across from commercial building. It's across from commercial property. It's anchored on a main street. Those things matter because when you are looking to flip a property, you're thinking about who is the largest demographic that's going to draw to this. So if this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, they're looking for a certain thing. It's a family. So they're looking for a place their kids can maybe, play at, that they can be safe at. What they don't want necessarily is being on the end of a very busy street across from a commercial building. And so those are the things that even when you're going to look as a new person, you don't just look at the house. You have to look at the scope of the land. Who is going to want to live there? And when you find yourself trying to make up reasons why, you realize what you're doing is you're narrowing your pool of buyers. And as investors, we don't want a narrow pool of buyers. We want the largest pool of buyers to be attracted to our property because that's going to give us the best option of being able to sell quickly.
Indeed.
100%.
Totally agree.
So quickly.
Totally agree. Shout outs to you, girl. You know what you're doing.
Dropping heat all night. Where's that little cooking sound?
It's great.
Y'all are too kind. Y'all are too kind. You know what? I really love, to truth is, y'all, I really love real estate. I like it. I like it. I love this.
It's an
Is something
addiction.
I,
It's an addiction. I tell my wife that it is an addiction. We can spend hours and hours, and nobody will get tired because we share so much game, so much knowledge, and everybody wins. Tim does his thing. Tony, you got your thing going on. You with your design and knowing what, like you said earlier, you analyze it. You like to analyze, right? So someone like you who analyze every detail aspect, you basically bullseye, right there. Boom, there you goes your flip. Or you flip, buying whole rentals, quad, whatever you want to do. You just have to analyze everything.
100%.
Hey,
man.
numbers don't lie.
No.
Numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
Not numbers. If the numbers work, it's a good deal. If the numbers don't work, it's not a good deal.
100%. And the good thing I like about real estate, we can look at the numbers 6 months, 12 months, and that's gonna give us a clear gauge and a strategy we can base it on. It's not like crypto or stock. We had to constantly look at that all day.
It all depends. It all depends what part of the real estate branch you would like to be in. Now, another thing that I would like to say, with especially anybody in the audience, anybody that listening to all us four right now, when you're doing flips, especially flips, remember this: we're in the 2024. It's about all new codes in construction. So you got to be up to code for everything. A lot of people like to do the Mickey Mouse makeup, that's fine. But if you're electrical, if you're mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and HVAC, it's not updated, that ain't gonna go. I tell everybody, one of the biggest tips I say, if you're a flipper, grab a home inspector and do a home inspection maybe 1 week or 2 weeks before you go live on the market. Have the home inspector give you that little honeydew list to say, this is where you're gonna get hit on. This is where, when you're on the market and somebody throws you an offer, this is where you cut. When you cut corners, this is what you're going to get, this list. And you're like, oh, darn it. And that's when they're going to use that as a leverage to do a price drop on the offer. When you got that offer, well, my inspector said the electrical panels HVAC is from 2008. Water heaters, this, what it is. Like, dude, everybody spent money on their hardwood floors, on their paint, on their, cabinets, the the 42s and all the staining, all that's nice. The staging is beautiful. Yeah, but the inspector's gonna okay, let me see the heart of the house. Let me see the electrical panel. Let me see if you got ground. Let me see this. See if you're up to code. Up to code. Oh no, let me see that. Oh, that cast iron gotta go. That cast iron gotta go. That gotta go, because then you don't want to get that phone call, because this happens. I don't know if it ever happened to you guys, but this happened to a client of mine when I was an agent back in the days. We closed the house. 2 days later, get a call. The buyers, the whole house flooded. I'm like, what do you mean it flooded? That backlog. What do you mean backlog? There you go. Cast iron. When you do the remodeling, surely enough, you only got a few construction workers using the bathroom. When you got that family moving in, everybody wants to use it. There goes your nightmare.
100%.
Same thing with septic tanks. Be careful when you're dealing with septic tanks. Be careful dealing with trees near the house. There's a lot of stuff you got to look into. A lot of things you got to. It'll be good to piggyback on what you do, how you analyze houses, because people don't know. People look at it like, oh, look at this house. Yeah, but that you thought about this? That you thought about, like, for example, you ain't gonna buy no house next to a creek. That's a big red flag, or a flood zone, right? So there's a lot, guys. I mean, these conversations could go on and on and on and on. We're saving people thousands of money from, you don't need to go to Las Vegas. Just come to the Sellionaire.
We got to run it up. Run it up. Run up a check. Real quick. Yeah, that's awesome, man. We just dropping the grease is popping over here. We got the catfish grease popping. The bacon crate. They done took all the bacon out. Now it's on the. Now we got the catfish grease is popping over here. So I'm excited, man. Great conversation tonight. Just great tips and gems tonight. Like I said, we can go on and on just talking about this tonight. I get excited because it reminds me of a lot of the stories that I've had to deal with over the years. Just hearing it back and be able to give back and to turn those experiences into learning experiences is like a joy of its own. So I'm excited. So I want to just thank our guests for popping in here. RC popping in here from the A, dropping heat and cooking tonight. Thank you so much, RC. How can someone follow you as well? And I was like, when I talked to RC, I was like, you hired. And RC was like, I'm not looking for no job. She didn't say that. I was thinking, I wanted to hire. I was like, man, you working? I want you on the team. But
I was like, is this an interview? I didn't know.
Because I knew she knew what she was talking about. I was like, yeah, we need you on the team. So we got to have you back again for sure. Great tips tonight.
I'm RC Marshall on everything. I'm RC Marshall on Facebook. I'm RC Marshall on Instagram. I'm RC Marshall on everything. And so, please follow me, and again, I'm usually not too far from wherever Tim is. We're usually, we're usually right there in the same circles all the time. And, I'd be happy to, again, love this, because again, I love talking real estate. I love being able to do it. I am, to all the women, I am a real estate investor. I am a full-time mother, full-time. I have a 14-year-old, a 15-year-old. I still do this and I still love it, and it's possible. So, just don't ever think that, being able to do this as a woman, that there are reasons or excuses. Do you have to work hard? Yes. Do you have to show up? Yes. Can you give yourself a bunch of excuses? No. Find a reason to figure it out. I just hired me a whole entire laundry service. I got a laundry service coming to do my washing so that I can maximize my time. And one of the things I told my husband was the amount of time, if I work doing laundry for 2 hours, do you know how much money I make working on real estate for 2 hours? It is easier for me to pay somebody $50 to wash my clothes when I'm working on a $50,000 deal for 2 hours.
There you go. You're doing the 80. Yeah, she's doing the 80. She's a math girl. She's doing the 80-20 rule. She's doing the 80-20 rule, baby. You know it. Yes. You know it. 80-20 rule.
And we know we can find Big Yun. If you guys are already members, drop a message inside of the comments area. Just drop some heat. Thanking our guests for hopping in here tonight. Big Tim, we know we can find you as well. What's your handle on IG? Where you at, Big Tim?
Oh yeah, who is Tim Harvey? Y'all know. Who is Tim Harvey on IG?
And just helping a lot of our members. We finding deals with you guys. We're locking in. Make sure if you're not a member, just go to the comments area, book a call with one of our coaches so we can help you start building your fortune in the real estate game and answer all your questions as well. Tomorrow at 12, we got a mastermind for our members only. So if you're already a member, make sure you're there. We're going to be live and we're talking about some money in the house. And then next Thursday night, we're going to have our money house in the building on our live stream next Thursday night. So make sure you're there. So we always bringing the heat. Thank you guys again for showing up tonight, showing out. And until tomorrow for members at 12 and Thursday night, we'll see you again. Until then, I ask for the money. Once you get the money, you got to celebrate. So guys, I want you guys to throw it up like this while you're in the screen right now. Throw it up, throw it up, throw it up. Hey. Until then, we'll see y'all on the next one. Let's go. Hey.
All right. Hey, shout out there to Tony.
Lego.
I'm brand new. Matter of fact, I just found my first renter last Thursday after sweating a whole bunch of bullets on a house that I closed on the end of April. And I guess I'll say I joined this group because, Tony has helped me get started and go on the way. And my ambition is to start a real estate business, not just buy houses. And my goal is to be able to retire early. So I love the term mailbox money. I've never heard that before. I think I heard you say that a couple times, Tony. So yeah, that's my goal. I want a whole bunch of mailbox money. I want the mailbox full. Because, this work thing is not, I don't see myself going another 25 years or so, which is when I officially would retire. So yeah, nice to meet everyone. I guess I'll just be listening because all I got is newbie stuff to contribute. Newbie mistakes.
I'm so proud of you because you came into the game and you talked about what you were going to get, came in, saw it, and you conquered it. You got your new project, you finished it, and you got a renter. So that's huge. So congratulations on that. New
Thanks.
On the way.
Yes, I even have to go find the mailbox. UPS. Yes.